Good morning and welcome to another live episode of
Just Look in Your Feet.
Daddy's Right Here Live.
Indeed.
I'm your host as always,
And Ellicott filled with B,
Sabir Ali.
and Green.
Welcome.
Grown men caught up in gossip and idle chatter, sitting around counting another man's money, betting on whose woman's ass is fatter. It's all laughs and giggles when they start calling her Wiggles. But these same dudes want to pull a heater when their main man starts chasing that cat, but labeling her a cheater when she claps back, brandishing his own goods like a badge of honor, but he has none for her. Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying. Are the goods really his or just on loan? After all, if she gives it away, it's just gone. Well, not all of it. If somebody else can get some, two. But why do we get so upset when somebody gives what belongs to them to someone outside of us when it was never ours in the first place?
Imagine that.
But it does beg the question, why do you keep telling me it's mine? You deny me at will, then give it away as a resolve to our unresolved, and that makes you feel better. About what? 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 Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying.
Yeah.
Why is she the bride and he is the groom? She should stand for purity, commitment, and strength, while he is to be prepared and trained. For what?
For what?
Again, understanding the significance of this Eve to Adam, one standing for evolution and the other being the smallest unit of everything, both contributing 23 chromosomes to make a whole one. But it only takes one to destroy a son. Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying. Making us good ones to bad. You know what I mean? Eventually, this all comes to full circle, be it the world, repetition of life, those in your life, or your constant sacrifice. It is the male ordained by the Creator who is to shoulder the responsibility of being the learning one, rightly guided by the only one, humankind, a body of one, a life of test. The time has come. They had the opportunity, couldn't get the job done. There won't be another. There won't be another. There won't be another. The time is one. The time is one. The time is one.
I say then. Check this.
Yes.
Check.
America. It's just a figment of your imagination. Just look it up. Get the definition. Then look around you. Reevaluate your position. Dreams and nightmares, hopes and fears. Some big, some small. Got your trauma, don't recall. We put that old boogeyman in his place many years ago. But they still impact them sheets annually. Doing a little recruiting, you know? Shit. We ain't sure. That's why they hiding in plain sight. It's what they do. It's not just us that they're after you too. What's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Apparently, elected officials need to be brought up on their awareness as to how they came to be. That's term line, whole line, and no damn line. Jobs, justice, and equality do fall under your review. Maybe some of y'all need to join the protesters too. Here for me waging war on your own. Standing at the fence, neither side, your home. Screwed us all, now you wanna talk dirty. A lot of go, Mississippi with the pretty. Who's gonna take the fall? What's up, y'all? Ain't none. Ain't none. It's easy to talk tough from the podium. Never step foot in the hood. See what's really holding them. Standing up there, scolding them. Stirring and hating, bolding them. Fuck around and find out we colding them. Ain't our first rodeo, we older than them. Original man, we're soldiering them. What's up, y'all? Ain't none. Ain't none. We got the experience. We know how it's done. They're rotating gatekeepers, keeping the bad chasers on the run. Grown has been not served for son. Fighting for positions, but dying by gun.
Check this.
Our aim should be them. There's us. Chasing paper that breathes in God we trust. Hustlers hustle, players play. Public service all bought and paid. That was dirty deeds, violators of law. Proven track record, constituent contingency clause. Just collateral damage. Just need your vote. Just without ice. Just a sacrifice. What's up, y'all? Ain't none. Ain't none.
Check this.
In light of an identified dark moment, our eloquent limelighters have reared their ugly heads from the depths of detection to prance in front of the camera, possessed by envy, spite, and grandiosity, to openly admonish another brother for trying to do his due diligence in a manner that could have dire consequences for blacks in America. Just one more example of diversionary tactics often used to avoid personal accountability for knowing what time it really is
And what
must be done. And doing nothing.
Nothing.
Most of them collaboratively would mean so much to our cause, yet they act independent while we all are still dependent upon others. America, again words were spoken, and again our brothers labeled a token. They were talking man to man, so I thought. But the other ones walking away to avoid facing the differences while diminishing the similarity, missing an opportunity to offer impunity from what many thought he should have done for the black community. He was the president of the United States of America, who is black. He was not the black president.
That part.
He was not the black president. He was not. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us. See, politics can't fix what's wrong with us, but they can and have been wrong to us. Anyone expecting his 8-year tenure to give blacks jobs, justice, and equality? You know, the things we keep begging for year after year, election after election, are more delusional than those who believe that number 45 and his supremacist cohorts are going to re-enslave the black man. Imagine that. Toss your caps. Now, in defense of our brother, not that he needs it, but it's for him. Many of us adore him. Today, his convictions guided him to applaud them. He offered me words of wisdom to those who engage in idle chatter, not the act of sitting still, but worship of the one who instills in others, shoot to kill. Great again has never been, at least not in the eye of the beholder of many men. Certainly not by those in the circles I have been in. Slandered and ostracized, no mollies, no drive-bys, no innocents sodomized. Standing erect, brothers, he checked words, expressed historics, refreshed. Great again, America's mess. Are our heads so far up the asses of these so-called self-professed black leaders that our air will remain polluted with disdain and distrust, laden with Cain? Or become able to differentiate sincerity from conspiracy, authentic from fraudulent, a message from a messenger, knowing what time it really is and what must be done? Knowing what time it really is and what must be done? Knowing what time it is and what must be done? America.
And again, good morning and welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. And you know, I'm always live, right? I'm a hot mic guy. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So what's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Y'all know if you had an opportunity to check out my latest releases. Yeah, got another one coming between this week. Well, yeah, this week actually. I'll be right after the show. I'll be going right to the mic and doing a remix of a song that I released back in 2021. That's actually when I first did the song, and then I remade it with another female vocalist. and I wanted it started out being an up tempo song back in, sheesh, 2015. 2015 is when I actually started working on the song, and it was a very up tempo song. Um, and then when I did it 2021, 2022, it I toned it down. I just took it down a notch and made it more of a ballad like. So now this remix is actually going to be the intended mix of the song from 2015. So I hope you enjoy. But yeah, I'm working on that. The beat is just literally. You'll see what I mean when you hear it. So yeah, I'm ready to go on that, man, and that's where we're at with the music thing. Make sure you go to alimforyou.net. ALIM, the number four, the letter U.net. Make sure you go to alimforyou.net and check out our merchandise, man. Time is getting close. Time is really getting close for uh, purchasing. I don't care where you order from. You know, you're today's the 7th. So you literally have 18 days before, yeah, Christmas. So now is the time to go to the website. Go ahead and get your order now, man. And you can get it within, the next couple of weeks. The later you wait, the longer it's going to take to get to you because you're running into high shipping volume. This is that time of the year, man. So um, go ahead and get that order in now. We got a lot of things. Our regular prices, man, is like an ongoing sale. Our product are always at a 5 to 10% profit margin in terms of our pricing. You can't beat our pricing. You can't beat the merchandise. It's the same merchandise. Well, let me say this: it's the same product that being sold. That's being sold on our sites. Uh, and people, they listen. Business is business. You charge whatever you want to charge. We're not seeking to get rich overnight. We're not. We're seeking to have customers, repeat customers, customers that are going to be with us for the duration. When I'm long and gone, the lean name continues. The lean merchandise will always be the same. Great. Pricing will always be outstanding. Your satisfaction with what it is that you receive will always be at the highest level. Always. You will always appreciate the work. I recently put out a video showing the steps that we take in developing uh, our pieces. It's just not something we just slap on merchandise. Take a look at the video, and I'll be posting videos on a regular basis showing you how we put together our designs. Yeah, it's work, man. It's work involved. It's detail. It's thought put into it. We think about you, the customer, and what it is that you want to have. We want you to have a coffee cup, a mug, or whatever it is, like this here. You know, want you to be able to sit down and people pick it up and want to look at it. They might drink your coffee while they have it in their hand too, and forget that it's not theirs because they're so in enveloped, uh, enthused, a whole bunch of other words I can think of. But just look at the design, man. Look at it. Look at the design. I'm trying to get you so you don't have it distorted. But look at that. Look at the ship. Look at the detail. Look at the detail. Got a reflection from the light. Um, it's not really good, but you'll be seeing some more of these things. We're in the process now of moving into development of our pop-up shops. Yeah, because pretty much we have been setting up online, so that way our customers can access our stuff online. A lot of the things that you see um, at our pop-up shop, you cannot get online. But the shirt. Look at the shirt. Man. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the shirt. Look at the detail. Look. look. Right? Look at the colors, man. I mean, the colors are just popping. The design, the detail is just popping. The diamond encrusted crown. Just look at the detail in that, man. Just look at it, right? Look at this. Look, artistic imaginations manifest. Make sure you check us out at aleneforyou.net. Um, so, what is infidelity? You know, a couple of weeks ago, we did the show on emotional infidelity, talking about how relationships are formed in different venues and how people connect to other people in ways that they're not connecting with their partner at home. Well, at home or your partner, period, right? There's a responsibility and a duty that both partners have in this situation. And oftentimes, when people say that they're not getting a particular thing from their partner, they're usually not pursuing it either. It's usually been a case of this is the way it's been and things have changed. Well, things always change. Things going to always change, right? Things change. Yes, they do when you get married. They do. So when people say nothing is different, we just got the ring. No, we do. We do change. We walk differently. We stand differently. There's a level of integrity that is elevated when you become husband and wife. That's the moment. Like the orgasm. That's the moment that life actually changes. We've been together X amount of years, right? X amount of months, whatever the time frame is. And we've talked about this moment. And then the moment comes. So you are elevated to a higher level. Listen, you are elevated to higher standard expectations. Because all that little creeping stuff that, you know, the little tipping stuff, the little wandering eye stuff, all that's gone. It's expected to be gone because you have committed to another person. You've made that commitment. This is where honesty, loyalty, trust, all those things play into this. All this stuff goes to a whole nother level when you get married. It's just like when you have a child. When you have a child, life changes. If you've never had children before, and this is your first child, it changes immensely. It changes the whole dynamics of the house. There's different set of obligations and responsibilities. There's emotional things that happen within individuals. The hopes, dreams, and aspirations that I have for my child, right? Because in my mind, yes, it's our child, but my child, if I have a child, my thinking is this is what I see for my child. The mother has her own set of expectations for her child, right? Let's not be petty and go back and forth over that's where the problem is. Because no, I'm making it very clear to you. When we think of having children, right? We think of like I don't want to raise my child like I was raised. I want to raise my child this way. I want for my child to have this. I don't want my child to go through that. You're not thinking about the other person. You're thinking about what idea or ideals you have of raising your child. The problem comes into play when you fail to put these ideas together and raise the child together. That's where the problem comes in. Understand? That's where the problem comes in. But life changes. You get a new job, life changes. You go into a new environment, life changes. Life changes. And when those changes happen, you have to be aware of yourself to see where you change. Because it's ultimately your responsibility to work on your relationship with your partner. You fail to do that, don't come to your partner and tell them, well, you used to this and you used to do that, and and now you don't, and I don't know what happened. Did you ask the question? Did you ever ask? Did you ever take a moment to sit down and say, hey, what has changed? What's changed with me? What's changed with me? Did I ever pursue that aspect of our relationship? Did I ever do any work in that area? It was always him. He just always did it. Now he doesn't do it. But you have to ask yourself, what did you do to change? Did you just have a natural expectation that it was going to always be this way, that he was never going to change, that she was never going to change? Well, whose issue was that? Whose issue was that? Did the groceries just stay in the car because, well, he's always brought them in? So the food's still in the car. But I'm mad at him because the chicken went bad and the ice cream melted. But I'm mad at him. Well, I could have went and got the stuff out the car. When did I stop being a helper? That part that we discussed when the relationship started. Right? Because for me, right, if it's not just some, fling, right? In most cases, it's not. Like, there's an intent of marriage. So we're having the conversation about acting as a unified front in the presence of others, especially the children, and sharing our difficulties with God to work through those things. So if you're not going to God for the solution, because that's the go-to source that we have the understanding exists, they're twined. You know what I'm saying? Right? So we already have that understanding. These are the expectations. We ain't talking about love. Love have nothing to do with this. Let's be clear. Love has nothing to do with this. People keep saying, well, I love him. I love her. And it can't have anything. What kind of love is that? Think about it. And you say, oh, well, people have their own. Yes, people do have their own interpretations of love. But love should never hurt. Love should never humiliate, embarrass, degrade. Love should never do that. And if it does do that, then what are we really talking about here? I think we're just talking about bad behavior. No boundaries, no appropriate boundaries, and not a complete and total understanding of relational obligation that's appropriate. Because you don't have to love me to not try to humiliate, degrade, or embarrass me. You don't have to love me. You can hate the hell out of me, as a matter of fact. So it's not about love. It begins with expectations of self. What kind of integrity do you have as a person in your relationship? What kind of loyalty, honesty do you express in your relationship? Be very clear. See, what happens is we turn the blind eye to so many bad behaviors because of what it is that we want from that person, in that person. But what we don't look at is the possibility and the potential for disaster, right? Because all the thing we're focused on what it is that we want. We're not focused on the responsibilities and the duties that come along with all that. Now, we'll cross that path when we get to it because we're in hopes of whooping it out of the person. So that way it won't be a focus. They'll just be focused on coming and getting the yang yang thing. Yeah, that's the only focus. And then when you get past that, when the novelty of that wears off and the reality shows up, you really didn't want this relationship. You didn't know anything about the person. You didn't care to know the truths about the person. So when you're up front and you're directing, you tell people right from the door, you're the problem. Because I'm supposed to sit down and I'm supposed to appease all of your shenanigans, all in the name of letting you get at what it is that you're seeking to get from me as well. And now you're mad. You're in this relationship. You're stuck. You have a child. You live together. You own some things together. But this was never the intended relationship for you. See, before we start talking about infidelity, we have to look at our own false intentions. You never wanted that person. You weren't thinking about marriage. You weren't. That was the last thing on your damn mind. So when we start looking at infidelity and we start looking at, calling these people cheats, you cheated yourself from the beginning. You were the biggest cheat right from the door. Right? Because you wanted what you wanted, and that wasn't the only one you wanted. That's why you keep a wandering eye. That's why you keep a wandering eye. Because you were so busy, focused on satisfying sexual needs. Sexual needs. That everything else, right? It was like tunnel vision. Nothing else mattered about that person. Nothing else mattered about that person. So you are always going to have, right, a lack of loyalty, a lack of trust, a lack of honesty. You will always be, right, a cheat. Because that's how you're built. That's how you're conditioned. You're conditioned for sexual satisfaction. You're not conditioned to be a husband. You're not conditioned to be a wife. You're conditioned to go out there, eat, drink, and be merry. That's what you're conditioned to do. That's what you're conditioned to do. So don't be surprised if y'all hooked up that way. If y'all end that way. Don't be surprised. Don't take yourself through that trauma. Don't take yourself through that drama. If you connected in a way that was only focusing on that aspect of the relationship, right? And didn't make the adjustments. Once you begin seeing that person, that's how the relationship is going to end. So it's no surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. Because you started this one that way. It's just like when people are cheating, when the side one is seeing the person and the other person, leaves the person that they're with to be with the side person. Do you not expect for you to for you to be faced with another side person? That's what this person does. But they're just not bold enough. They're not brave enough. They're not honest enough to sit down and say, this is what I do, and not take you through it too. So they drag you into their mess. But you were a side piece when I was with my wife, when I was with my husband. You were a side piece. Now you're the main one, and a side piece. I need to have that, because then I know I know failure is going to happen. Therefore, I'm not putting all my eggs into one basket, because that's the information I got. I'm not going to be a silly rabbit and have just one hole, because only a silly rabbit has one hole. You ride on that kind of nonsense because you intend for something to fail. That's your perception. Until you change that perception and understand that Nobody is ever going to meet your expectations. Nobody is ever going to be 100% honest and truthful with you. Until you accept that part, you're going to keep setting yourselves up. But yes, there are expectations and there are consequences for failing to be honest, failing to be loyal, failing to be trustworthy. There are consequences to that. And the first consequence to that is you're going to always be questioned when you show a lack of any of those areas. Now, I mean, with facts, not what you think, with facts. Because you can think one thing and it's something else, right? So you have to look at all of these things. Everything begins and ends with you. But that's the part that's always missed. And this is why co-parenting becomes such a difficult thing when people are no longer together. Because you still focused on what she or he did to bring this relationship between the two of you to an end. And you don't know how to make the transition to being a parent with the other parent. So co-parenting goes out the window because you two stuck on some other stuff. The reality of it is you did what you did. We're done. No, we're not sleeping together again intermittently. No, it's not going to be a little rendezvous. No, no. So we're going to focus on the parenting because that's the other layer of the challenge. When you continue to sleep with each other in any capacity, saying that you're done, but you still make that connection. In most relationships, sex is not the reason why you parted ways. That's why you continue to go back and forth. But that's what you desired from the beginning. You didn't want the other stuff that came along with that. You never wanted that part. That's why we go back and forth. Because that was not the problem area. But when you continue to go back and forth, you see that in fact is a problem area. You can't go back and tap it and hit it every now and then. Once you're not together as husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, you no. You're making it more difficult. So the article, Psychology Today, it's actually just says infidelity, reviewed by Psychology Today staff. It does not have an author, so it's apparently a collaborative effort at just making some clarity as to infidelity, right? On Facebook is having some challenges with the connection. Not entirely sure why it's having a problem. Let me see. What is it on? Because it's probably, well, it's not on the Wi-Fi. I'm not really sure why that is happening, but let's see if that'll change anything. And then we'll just go back up. There we go. Maybe it'll bring that back up. I don't know. Well, we're going to keep on going on Facebook. But if you're having a problem with Facebook, you can go to my severely educational station on YouTube, and that'll clear all that up for you. But anyway, so the article, Infidelity. Infidelity is the breaking of a promise to remain faithful to a romantic partner, whether that promise was a part of marriage vows, a privately uttered agreement between lovers, or an unspoken assumption. As unthinkable as the notion of breaking such promises may be at the time they are made, infidelity is common, and when it happens, it raises thorny questions. Should you stay? Can trust be rebuilt? Or is there no choice but to pack up and move on. Right? Now, it says a privately uttered agreement between lovers. What does that agreement look like? That's the first thing you want to think about, because I can tell you at 64 and 4 marriages later, getting ready to do it a fifth time, I've never had the conversation uh, uttered between myself and another person as to what's going to be. It's come as a result of we're sleeping together regularly. So this falls under the unspoken assumption more than anything else. But how many relationships are actually formed in this manner? An unspoken assumption. I can tell you, I've been with people who had an assumption that we were in something that we weren't. And I'm sure it was vice versa. When do you have this uttered agreement? What is an uttered agreement? Right? While I'm hitting it from the back, talking about, yeah, this is mine, and she turned around looking up at me saying, yeah, this is yours, baby. Is that the uttered agreement? Because at what point in time do we sit down and say, hey, listen, we're an item now? Well, when did we become an item? After the second or third lay? What made us become an item? At what point did we become an item? We didn't have that discussion. This is where this. So when it says an uttered agreement between lovers, implies we were already sleeping together. It says a privately uttered agreement between lovers. Be clear, we've already been together. So now this is yours, and that's mine. But since when did yours really become mine? And you can give it away. It's yours. You can give it to whoever you want to give it to. But you tell me it's mine. I act like it's mine. And I'm mad when you give it away to somebody else. But it's yours. I want you to look at the psychology here. The penis is mine. I gave it to somebody else. Made them happy, made you mad. You mad because I gave mine to somebody else. So your response to that is give yours to somebody else. And now we even. But if giving mine to somebody else when I'm with you is the solution, what the hell is the problem? Come on now. Talk to me. What's your problem? If infidelity is the response, what is the cause? Did you seek to resolve the cause in any other capacity? Because cheating is never going to be a solution that you're looking for. Even if you stay, it never goes away. It's always held over your head. And why would you want to stay? Why would you want to take yourself through that? Why would you want to put yourself in a position I have to be up in your head every time that person goes out? You don't know when they go to work. They tell you they went to work. They tell you they if you ain't sitting on the lot when they roll up and go inside and you know, check the perimeter the whole time, make sure they don't sneak out the back door. You got to go through all them changes. I wonder if she's really at work. Running around checking their phone. You're checking the wrong place. People who are trying, who are cheating, are trying in every capacity to conceal it. There's too many apps out there now where you listen, you be looking in the wrong place, so thinking you satisfied with your results, but there's a whole nother app to look for, right? Taking yourself through all these changes for nothing. It comes out. It happens. And if it's happening in your gut, 9 times out of 10, it's legitimate. There are many people who are incarcerated as a result of, right, circumstantial evidence. There's enough evidence to support that you up to something, that you're doing something. Whether you're sleeping with a person or not, doesn't matter. If you're entertaining conversations, you have no business. I'm supposed to be your friend. You're supposed to be my best friend. We shouldn't be having those kind of relationships. We shouldn't be chit-chatting on the phone. We shouldn't be texting each other. We shouldn't be doing any of that. That always goes in the wrong direction. And we talked about that in the last show that we did with emotional infidelity. Because what happens is it makes it easier for you to not fix what's going on in your own home, in your own relationship, because you just gravitate towards the other person who you have found comfort in having dialogue with, right? And blaming the other person for not being just like Mike. But you've done absolutely nothing to contribute to its betterment. Be careful what you take responsibility and ownership for, because people who cheat, people who seek to lie, deceive you, they will always blame you. Let's get down into the article, because we got like 23 minutes. Why people cheat. For the adulterer, infidelity can be exciting and seductive, conferring feelings of renewal, rejuvenation, and joy. Infidelity is a betrayal, but it isn't necessarily the end of love. Cheating occurs even in happy relationships. The partner, being betrayed, however, may feel confusion, anger, doubt, pain, and heartbreak. With all of that, I don't know how people stay. I don't know how people stay, but they do. What are the main reasons why people cheat? Most people are aware of the cost of cheating in a relationship, particularly in a marriage. Betrayal can lead to divorce and parental disruption, which we talked about. And infidelity is a predictor of depression, anxiety, and domestic violence. Let me stop there for a minute. Depression, anxiety, and domestic violence. And it don't necessarily happen in that order. But it's devastating. And how people can be so callous, unthoughtful, and selfish in doing it. It's unfathomable. But it happens, even in the happiest of relationships. But how are you happy when you're giving a portion of yourself in any capacity to another who is not your husband? Because they use the word adultery. Adultery is a religious term. You're an adulterer based on. So see where the mix comes in as well? So you have somebody who has these religious convictions about marriage. So now you're an adulterer. And if you're part of the establishment along with your partner, right, it's even more devastating. Because then you have the other people that tell you no matter what, you stay with your spouse. But it's clearly outlined in scripture what that looks like, what that person is. They used to hang and burn adulterers on a regular. Some places they may still do it. Some countries, Middle East, oh, uh-uh. Especially if you're a woman, you get harsher treatment. See, a man can lay in the gutter, right, and get up from that gutter and still be called Mister. A woman doesn't have that same response by society. She's a hoe, a bee, a slut, and all these other things. She's going to always be trash to society. That's the world we live in. I didn't make the rules. Be mad at me for saying what it is. Y'all know it's the truth. So when you look at interpretation of life by each person, right? Because now we're really talking about culture. Right? So for me, it's a matter of you must value yourself as a person enough that sex with another person outside of me, it's not even something to think about. It's not even, and that is a wrap. Having conversations, no matter how trivial they may be, not that, no matter how trivial they may be. Why are you engaging in this kind of conversation? Why are they calling you? Why are they texting you? Why are you inboxing each other back and forth? As a supervisor, I didn't follow none of the people who worked under me. No, I didn't. That's what are you texting me for? Why are we sure you might get that, hey, what's happening? Where you seeing you in a minute, how you coming along? I'm good. Like when I fractured my ankle, I got, I had some calls from coworkers. Hey, yeah, I'm good. That's talking about random text. Yo, what's up? How you living? How I'm living is none of your damn business. You don't have to respond that way, but I'm saying, like, so why have you formed this relationship? Right? You have an inability to establish boundaries. You need to establish boundaries. And sometimes it's hard to tell somebody what they need to do because you expect for them to do it. Like, I need to tell you, but you have no problem establishing boundaries for me. what I need to or need not do with other people, but you don't hold to the same standard. So we have to look at the perceptions of I mean, I know, I've known people in the past, right, who, like had a whole lot of male friends, and didn't see anything wrong with having a whole lot of male friends, hanging out with male friends, and we supposed to be that I think they was uttered or something, but like, you okay with that? I'm not okay with that because I know men, no different than a woman knows women. I mean, I'm gonna watch that hell, right? But when men do it, we're called controlling, we're jealous. No, it's a reality. And I think Steve Harvey had talked about this too, that men and women cannot be friends. No, men and women cannot be friends. When a relationship is formed, right? Somebody has in their head something desirable about you. In this story, we have great conversation. Yep. We seem to be able to talk about anything. Yep. We laugh and joke. Like when I'm feeling bad, you make me laugh. Yep. All of those things are for a reason. They're for a reason. There's an intent behind it. You can say anything you want to say. A business relationship is different. We have some level of interaction that may expose, disclose personal matters. It's where you take those personal matters in conversation. Man is evil. And I mean mankind. That is who we are. That's who we are. And without proper grooming and self management and self monitoring, this thing blows up. This thing blows up. Uh, in surveys, back to the article, in surveys of individuals, oh, here we go. No, yet many stray away. Remember, because we ended with depression, anxiety, and domestic violence, because that's what infidelity brings, right? So it says, yet many stray away anyway, prompting the question, why? In surveys of individuals who have cheated, falling out of love, seeking variety, and feeling neglected were the most commonly cited reasons, followed by situational forces, a desire to raise self esteem, and anger with a partner. I don't know how your self esteem gets raised by, you know, you sleeping with somebody else. I don't know. It's not a good feeling, regardless of anything else. The relationship was crap, but your conscience? You mean you can just lay up with somebody else and come home and cook dinner and smile and be happy in the house? And then possibly lay up with your partner that same night? And, and no, it's not on your conscience, right? That's borderline psychopath, right? You just a hoe. You are right with that. That connection is spiritual, regardless of anything. It's like there's something that happens spiritually when we do this, and your spirit is like that detached that you can just do me and then go home and do your spouse and don't blink. Do men stray more than women? Men have always been more likely than women to cheat, or at least to report having done so. But researchers have noticed a shift in recent years. 16% of adults, about 20% of men, and 13% of women report they've had sex with someone other than their spouse while married. But among adults under 30 who have never been married, 11% of women report having committed infidelity, as opposed to 10% of men. So the old theory is that women need a reason, men need a place. Yeah, that's the theory, right? Yeah, I believe that the theory is as such, but I believe that uh, uh, the numbers are much higher in terms of women being very vicious and very deceptive when it comes to this, right? Not very deceptive when it comes to answering questions, because the the comeback is always something about you, and you begin to have this dialogue and it gets flipped on you. And then if you already had some struggles yourself, uh, the response from you is not going to be well at all. Therefore, you wind up eating this one again and letting it ride because, males are not looked at in the capacity of uh, like we hurt. Like we really fall in love with you. We hurt. And, being the dogs that many of us can be, we eat it because, you know, we don't want her to leave either. We love her. So many of us know that it's happening, see that it's happening, right? And battle within ourselves. And, then we go to the other part of beating our chest and being like, well, he ain't getting her. But women do the same thing. Bitch, you never have my man. Yeah, that's my man. But knowing that she wants you and you act in a manner that seems to lead this person on, right, becomes the reason that she goes out. Because she's already seen some things and because she ain't going to let you go, right? She going to go ahead and she going to do somebody else too. But she know what you're doing. So you play the game. But you won't have an open relationship or open marriage. You just play the game with each other. But yeah, it's been proven that women, need a reason. And a lot of times the reason is developed based off of how the relationship started. Based on how the relationship started. Yeah. But that's never looked at. Never look at yourself. But that's what you're after. You're after good times in the bed. You're not after, white picket fence in the house on the hill and the kids running around the yard with the dog. You're not, no, that's not what you saw. What you saw was your ass up in the air. What you saw was on the sofa riding it, on the desk in the office hitting it. That's what you saw. You didn't see the other stuff. That's not what you wanted. What people consider infidelity, the line between innocent flirtation and romantic betrayal is often elastic. And many couples face conflict because partners do not share the same definition of cheating. For some, anything short of sexual contact with someone else is acceptable. For others, any attention to a potential rival is unforgivable. And me, I'm the latter. It's not just about sex, it's about the whole idea that you have this kind of relationship with another person outside of me when that should be our connection. That should be our relationship. And these are the very things that you complain about in our relationship, but yet you have it outside. And complaining is not always verbal, it's shown in your actions. You act differently when you're not around me. You're happy go lucky, you're joyful. You have pet names for everybody. You have all this kind of happy, hunky dory stuff. But then as soon as I'm around, it's like hush hush. Shh, don't say that. Everybody's put on mute when you're around other people. Like don't say that. No. Right? Your whole demeanor is different when you're around other people. This shows, right, that you don't have boundaries. That you do these things around other people. Not looking at the fact of how humiliating it is for the person because they don't know these things. So everybody else knows the story. Everybody else got the memo except you. So everybody has this thinking about you. And when you come around, none of this goes down. But as soon as you ain't around, all the little jokes, the little innuendos, the little sexual remarks, all those kind of things that you know are not acceptable. Especially when if I was around, they wouldn't be said. But what happens is when people become so complacent and comfortable with acting this way in the absence of the spouse, and then the spouse is present and that stuff comes out, it's hell. Because like it clearly shows that no. See, and that's the whole thing when it comes to men protecting their women, right? We're responsible for all of this. We're the ones who have to address inappropriateness that you permitted. That you permitted. You allowed this dude to sit down and like do all this little flirtatious stuff with you, and you played the game with him instead of putting the boundary down. That's no, this ain't this no, this don't So I'm the latter part. I'm the part that any attention to a potential rival is unforgivable. It's not because you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be having this kind of relationship. Because if it's found out, you know you're going to have to answer some questions. And you can't sit down and say, well, we ain't sleeping together. Not we just talking. You for what? We just cool like that. For what? Why do we need to be cool? For what? Tell me the necessity of this relationship. Tell me. And why don't you have that with me? Why don't you pursue that with me if that's what you want? Why are you seeking comfort from that person? Why are you calling? Hey, I just called and see how you doing. Yeah, what's going on? What? Right? I'm not saying that you haven't had friends from the past who you intermittently interact with. That's not. I'm good with that. But if they calling you like once a week, once a month, I'm just calling to check in for what? You checking in for what? I got this. It's mine. I got this. You don't need to check on her. You don't need to check on him. I had to check one of my ex's ex because he's the father of an adult child. Like, what do you don't need to talk to her about nothing? What are you calling her for? Because I answered the phone. Hey, hello, can I speak to? But who's this? Oh, it's such and such. I'm not handing her the phone. And they were talking. I'm like, well, so what is he calling for? Oh, well, we just talk. No, you don't need to talk to him. Is it regarding the child? No, you don't need to stay in touch. He's an ex for a reason. Why are you entertaining the reservation? That's what you do to protect your woman. Sometimes you have to protect her from herself. Right? We don't protect our women like we're supposed to. We expose and allow our women to be in situations that are conflictual. Because we're the ones who have to address the situation when it gets out of pocket. We done told you it's going to get out of pocket, and we need for you to put it in pocket. So if it comes out of pocket, we're legitimate in what it is that we have to say about the circumstance because it's already been clarified by you. But if you're not sitting down clarifying the boundaries that's expected by that other person toward you, that's part of the problem. And then you open the door for us to have to step into a situation that we didn't typically have to do because you didn't put it in place. So and we're gonna wrap up on this one here, um, because it asks some very very important questions. We're supposed to be done 11:30. I just need about 10 more minutes. So, is fantasizing about others bad for a relationship? The term micro cheating refers to acts that fall short of most definitions of infidelity, but may still disturb a partner, such as flirting with an attractive neighbor or coworker with no intention of straying. Why are you flirting? You need that attention, you go be with him. Come flirt with me. You don't allow some dude to flirt with you. You don't allow some woman to flirt with you. You don't allow it. That's showing utter disrespect for your partner. It's not cute. It's not fly. It's not hip. It's not cool. It's a pending ass whooping. It's a looming ass whooping for that other person, for that flirting person. That's what it is. And you need to see it for what it is. If you think it's cute, then you need to step out of this relationship altogether and go be with that, because that's what you like. You don't flirt with somebody else. For what? It's not cute. Nothing cute about it. And people who say there's nothing wrong with flirting, get away from them, because it's a lot wrong with it. When you have a person, you show them the utmost respect. It's about respect, especially for men. It's about respect. And we don't get the respect that we deserve, because you have already formed within yourself what respect looks like. You need to ask the man what respect looks like for him, what loyalty looks like for him. You need to ask the man that, and stop establishing for us what you think respect is. I hear it all the time. I always have respect for you. I have the highest respect for you. Not if you acting this way. Not if you talking to me like that. That's not respect. Let me lay out for you what respect looks like to me. And that's the guidelines that you adhere to. You don't turn around and tell me that I am being respectful when you raising your voice at me. When you talking to me like I'm some common dude out on the street. No. That's not respect. You can't have respect for me. Uh, the other part is pornography, a form of cheating. Since the partner viewing porn doesn't know and isn't physically with the performers, many view porn use potentially problematic, but not actual infidelity. However, some partners insist that any sexual activity outside of the relationship is an offense. Experts suggest that couples be as open as possible with each other and discuss if one partner's consistent use of porn points to signs of trouble in the couple's own sexual connection. Right? My wife and I are open about dialogue in regards to porn, have even looked at porn together. But again, one of the things it talks about here is having the conversation and the level of its consistency, the consistent use, right? But having the conversation. Do you watch porn? Yeah, we were playing the game. I forgot the name of the game. But it was a couples game that you kind of do, and asking different questions, and that's always something good too, because a lot of times you just don't know how to start the conversation. With some of these games that they have, the partners can use to, learn more about one another, are really healthy, because you begin to get some unanswered answers. Yeah, and that's important. Because a lot of people don't know how to start these kind of conversations. How do you start a conversation? Do you watch porn? Hmm. Well, what you mean by porn? Negro, porn is porn. But you have to look at these kind of things, and At the end of the day, man, you just have to uh, take a look at where you are in your life, where the relationship started. What do you want from the relationship? Have you done enough research of this person before delving into a sexual encounter with them? Especially when encounters for you turn into long term relationships. I mean, for real. A lot of us are uttering a contractual agreement on our backs, on all fours, on the edge of a desk, right? That's where the relationship has been formed. And now all these other things happen and you're dissatisfied. But you want it, you pursue it in the relationship. If that's not happening, you pursue it in the relationship. You have a conversation about it. If you're not a talker, that's your problem. So that means the problem will continue to exist and it will manifest in other areas. But because you can't do something, then you put it on the other person to do for you what you can't do for yourself. When there's only God who can do for you what once seemed impossible, he can make it possible. So if you believe in God, then that means that you have to go to him for the solution and you have to come into your relationship to resolve the unresolved. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be faced with another loss of a potentially good, long term, healthy relationship because you didn't do what you need to do to fix your house, to get your house in order. That ain't my responsibility. I got to keep mine in order, right? So, anywho, we are at the hour. Listen, you guys can be doing anything else on a Saturday morning than sitting here listening to me uh, go on and on about changing life. What could be different in life? What do we need to do to make life better? Do we really want to make life better? Some people are good where they at, but you sit here on Saturday morning, listen to me, and if you can't make it on Saturday morning, you pop open the video later on in the course of your day. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it 100% because you don't have to watch any of these videos. There's about 500 videos on my YouTube station. I'm gradually weaning away from being live on any other place than my severely educational station on YouTube. So you may get another episode or two on Facebook before I terminate it altogether and just focus on building my severely educational station on YouTube. That's where you can find my music. That's where you can find information and ads on aleemforyou.net. That's where you can find information going on about daddies right here. That's the place. That's the educational station. That's the place that I'm focusing on building right now. That's going to be your only go-to source. That's what I want. That's what I want. That one place, one stop shopping. That's who I want it. I don't want it spread all over the place. I'm sure I'll share it to these different platforms, but I want you here at the Severe Lean Educational Station on YouTube. Yes, absolutely. Everything is going to be right there for you. But listen, you guys have a great weekend. I'm your host, as always, Severe Lean.
You say the streets are yours,
and I'll see you next Saturday.
Floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, calling him brother. Calling him brother. Playing this game, it's insane. The one who got you broke is probably your name. A game of fame, every man for himself. Personal gain, monetary wealth. Looking at a stretch a nickel, maybe more. The homie gave you up, staying free for sure. Getting to the top, being in charge. Once a foot soldier, now sarge. Moving up the ranks, wanna be top dog. Putting in a work, no loyalty log. No remorse,
What they want is status.
Wetting up bodies,
Messy bad habits.
Messy bad habits. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wait floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, calling him brother. You say the streets are yours. How's that so? When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, calling him brother. Calling him brother. Holes in your pockets, but there's a full. Your family was without you. Your woman, they pull. Low down and dirty. This game you play. You learn the truth when you go away. Books empty, bills behind your back. They plotting. Soon she'll be mine. You was down to what it was. Better I have it now, cause with all friends to the end. Chucky, no dogs running here, puppy. Street life is lucky, getting through each day. Lucky, is this what you really strove for? To the ground you dove for. Stick up boys, they come for. Shots fired, only made more. Ain't your friends? Only made more. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, but one brother. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on the daily by one another. See him the next day, calling him brother. Calling him brother. Want fame and fortune, even glory at the end of this game. Just another yard story. Bunky, flunky, canteen junkie, mule, a donkey. Just another research monkey. Make a decision, life or death. What's your vision? Having faith or this? Chasing paper was the mission. Now it's 6x6 you living. Liberties you're missing. All the time you've done. No woman's flesh to feel. Get out your sock, pull your gun. Your life is what you make it. Quit the game, be free. Be true to yourself, not your enemy. Not your enemy. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on a daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on a daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. You say the streets are yours, house that's so. When your homies wet floors with blood that's yours. Spilled on a daily by one another. See him the next day, call him brother. Call him brother. Call him brother.
You know, I was just sitting here looking at myself in the monitor here, and you know, when you go through TikTok, this is all you see people doing, sitting there looking at the screen. Hi, how are you? Yes. What's up, Jake? Brushing your teeth, all kind of stuff, and just like it's so depressing to think that it's all about getting followers, being viral. It's like you just sit there and just look at the screen, put makeup on, lipstick. Sometimes you see the ceiling and the top of a person's head, And you got all these people in the feed, and you just see the name just running, just running, just running. This person got 10, 15, 20,000. Like, wow, I just want you to just to check out some girl-ing educational station on YouTube and learn some stuff about how you change that kind of stuff. That's the level of self that you, oh no, that's what people are doing these days. But anywho, listen, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go to aleneforyou.net and check out our merchandise. Buy now. Getting close. But you're already close, but you know, best prices in the whole planet. Yeah, it's great. Fantastic. Gotta buy the stuff now. But thanks for tuning in, man. I'll see you